It has been a long time since what happens in this game has happened to me. What's up, ladies and gents? Was just spending my evening playing some ranked and decided to switch into some team games. And I was in queue for over 7 minutes. So if you're in queue for over 7 minutes, the searching threshold widens. Basically, there weren't a lot of people around my rank. It had to open it up, and I matched up against some mid-elo players. Now, Hardy's going to put the 1v1 elos for all these individuals on screen. But, you know, roughly speaking, we've got individuals from like 1,200 to 1,500 here. So here I am in the red. I'm 2,300 elo. And you can see the team game elo at the bottom right. Team game elo is obviously like quite different than that. I'm playing as the Persians, and we're going to call this yellow individual, because that's just like a big number. It's a player from China. We're going to call yellow best teammate ever, okay? You've probably seen the title. You've seen the thumbnail. You might know what's coming. We're going to say best teammate ever here for yellow, okay? So best teammate ever is playing as the Poles and is up against 10-Finger Tom. 10-Finger Tom is playing as the Portuguese. And then 10-Finger Tom is teamed with Dark Soul. Dark Soul's playing as the Mongols. Now, I don't know what your typical team game experience is like these days. Or just in general, but there could be quite of a mixed bag when you're playing with people online, right? My usual experience these days, because I'm in the higher ranks, is I'm playing against the same players all the time. As a content creator, I'm also quite known. I mean, let's face it, high-level player, super obsessed, tournament host. Like, I'm just interacting with the same people all the time, right? You're online in Age of Empires 2 at a certain level. I'm there. So I'm not used to not recognizing people is kind of the point. So I'm like, ooh, okay, so we're up against some mid-rank players. I might have a little bit of a target on my back. But when this happens, I'll be real with you. I'm not really expecting the biggest challenge. I figured I'd just have a little bit of fun. Make sure that someone doesn't, like, super flex on me, because I don't want to see it on, like, Reddit or Facebook or Twitter or something. And, you know, as long as I don't get made fun of, I'm good, right? So I'm just talking through my approach real quick. Here I'm in the red. I didn't know what was coming. Believe me, I didn't know what was coming. And I'm going to go for the dock. I'm going to add the fishing aspect, which the Persians are really good at, starting with the extra food and wood. And my plan was, let's adapt off the fish, right? Like if my opponent doesn't go for navy, then I'll go land. But the fish is super strong for the eco. And it just felt like the safest approach here. Because sometimes what happens is I am matched up against some, you know, two, let's say 1,500 or 1,600 elo players who are maybe on voice chat. And then I'm unable to coordinate with my teammate. And, you know, maybe if you don't coordinate on voice, you might not be able to have the best of strategies, you know? Man, best teammate ever's build order is crazy. Everything on food, it feels like. And then just now sending some villagers to wood here. So really trying to get as much food as possible. Best teammate ever. We'll see what best teammate ever's strategy is. Now, again, I just said, you know, sometimes I have a target on my back, right? And so this scout comes through, and this player is Mongols. And my boar is still over there. Now, I'm being a greedy pig. I'm pushing in all my deer. And I think to myself, I don't want to lose those sheep. I don't think this person would steal the boar. So there's no way he's going to be there, right? It's a mid-elo player. This guy's a scrub. So here I go up here to get my sheep. I'm like, oh no, not 200 food. And I'll shoot the boar. And this is super well executed. Check this out. Scout out of the darkness from Dark Soul. True to his name. But I'm able to, you just got to like spam click in this instance. I'm able to click a little bit faster. And then Dark Soul gets super greedy there. Really wanted that kill. Like I said, was going to screenshot that crap and tell people, hey, I lay T90. And so, yeah, I couldn't really let that happen. I'm looking to chase down the scout now that it's weak. And the scout for Dark Soul's running over this way. So, well played, Dark Soul. Still a good attempt. Dark Soul's going up super fast. Now, Dark Soul is walling, which could be pretty good on this map. We could talk more about that. So, going for a full wall, but it's not fishing. And so, at this point, I don't know if my opponent is fishing or not. I'm assuming there's some fish involved because it could be quite strong on Mediterranean. So I'm going to send a bunch to wood. My plan is to docks and adapt. But I'm like, I really want green scout to die. I want green to be sent to message. You can't lay me like that. And so I get the perfect gates. The perfect gate. And what is that, dude? What is that crap? I mean, this game sometimes, that would have been the highlight of the game. Well, maybe not. There's going to be another couple highlights. But yeah, I almost got him. Chasing down the Scout. And that's actually 2 hits away from death. Scout does 3 damage in Dark Age, so 2 hits could be rather tricky. But I don't know what I'm running into. I don't want to run into a TC. I thought these were straggler trees. Like the starting straggler trees. Like this. See? So I avoid the TC, or so I thought. And now I'm looking for the shoreline to see what's going on. Now, best teammate ever has not docked, just like Dark Souls, and is going for a tower rush with the poles. And so here comes best teammate ever. So it seems like the other team's got a pretty coordinated effort. 10-Finger Tom is going to go... Well, it seems like 10-Finger Tom is going to go for water. Oh my god, and then best teammate ever, Lames. I didn't actually catch this in the game. 10-Finger Tom says, no. He's like, don't steal my sheep. And now there's a tower coming. I don't know if he was reacting to the sheep getting stolen or if he was reacting to the lame. Oh, God. But now 10-Finger Tom doesn't have a house. Man, he has all those fingers and he still can't build houses? So he needs to get loom in a panic. He does end up getting the sheep back. Is Yellow gonna... Oh, yo, guys, I haven't rewatched this yet. Oh my god, what a disaster for poor 10-Finger Tom. Almost all the sheep go down. Tower Rush comes in right on the gold. I mean, best teammate ever is doing a lot of good stuff here, I gotta say. So, okay, that's happening. Now, I have only run into walls here. And I just noticed, because I never got to kill that weak scout, I just noticed, because I didn't see the barracks or anything, that is a new scout. So that tells me my opponent's going scouts. I also look to see, and I'm checking for docks. So I'm like, okay, well, I get a free fish boom, easy peasy, good food eco for me. And I don't, like, my teammate is 1v1ing the other side, right? So this is still good. Yellow's actually done a fairly decent job here. Well, the idle TC is actually really bad. I just noticed Yellow only has 22 fills. But anyways, Yellow's doing the job. Like, this is a team game. If Yellow's behind, I can pick him up later on and help out. All right. This is nice, though. I didn't know I could actually see their messages. I'll get to see what they said about me here. No gold gonna be behind, says Gray. Yeah, Gray's really struggling for gold because of this. And Green tried to sneak a dock up, I guess, to come kill my fish. And I saw it. And I am walling out the scout pressure. So you look at my position now. Everything is as breezy as can be. I'm going to go up to like 7 or 8 fish. My opponent has 0. But then Gray, I mean, props to 10-Finger Tom. Gray comes in out of nowhere with a fire galley. So I'm going to notice this. And I thought I had a free fish boom. And now I realize I actually need to play on the water again. And then I'm still walling here because Green is attacking the walls. And so I kind of figure, like, this is completely fine. I make a barracks behind. I'm making spearmen. Now, how's best teammate ever doing? Best teammate ever loses the scout. Best teammate ever is only 24 vills. But best teammate ever is still holding this tower up and built another tower here. So, it feels like a pure tower rush player here. I popped out with the spears. And so I've got the spearmen here aiming to push back the scouts. And Green noticed that. Green's been very aware. Well played to Green. And now my galleys are headed over to kill Gray's fish, which, again, well played to 10-Finger Tom. The fish are escaping. I don't even remember seeing these. I was able to push away the fire galley. So there's a lot going on here, guys. I hope you're not too overwhelmed. Team games can be pretty intense. But if you look at the total team, we're doing good. We're doing fine. Now, I just pushed away Green scouts, okay? The scouts are not over here. This is where, if I was being the best teammate ever I could be, I should probably communicate to Yellow. Now, before the game, I tried to speak to Yellow, and I saw that Yellow had this username, which is just numbers, which is typically, like, a lot of Asian players have that. And I spoke like 3 times, like, do you want this civ? What's your strategy? Hi, hello. I did some taunts. Yellow didn't speak to me at all. So I didn't know if we were on talking terms or what. I still should have, like, pinged and said something, which I didn't. And so you see right there, yellow signals it on the minimap. Yellow's, like, basically saying, without saying it, your guy is attacking me. Like, this is a problem, right? And it is a big problem for yellow because yellow has only had villagers this entire game. And green comes over with a lot of scouts. Again, I probably should have said something. But I didn't. And so I immediately, guys, I know, because I used to be a low elo player. I used to be a mid elo player. I know what happens in these situations. I immediately was like, I gotta tell yellow what I'm gonna do, or this could be a problem. I didn't actually think it would happen, but okay, so here comes green. Yellow's like, I got a wall. I got a wall. I got a wall. And the scouts make it through. And so we'll deny the walls. These are scouts with forging. I mean, villagers just completely melting. The farm eco is on the front for yellow. Yellow just placed these beautiful farms on the back. I'm making my stables over here to support him. And yellow, I mean, I was hoping for some quick walls here. Hoping for some type of reaction. Yellow sees it now. Yellow's getting completely slaughtered. And, sorry, not yellow. Best teammate ever. Signals it again. I say yes to acknowledge it. And best teammate ever resigns. And so now, it is me versus both of these guys. It is 1v2 now. And so I say, oh boy. And then I say, oh boy. So they see it. And Gray says he was brutal. Well, hey, before we, like, really get into what is going to be now a pretty challenging situation for me, well played to you, Gray. Because even if, like, let's say yellow had the walls down, or let's say yellow didn't even lose those vills, you played very well with your macro. 41 eco versus, I think, like, yellow was at, like, I don't know. I don't know what yellow was at, but it wasn't that. Yeah, so I immediately am thinking, well, hi, YouTube. So, you know, I figured win or lose, this is going to YouTube. This has not happened to me in a long time. Now, you guys have probably experienced this before. You can leave a comment. Like, it's unfortunate, but sometimes people just quit when they think they're not getting help. And they like to point fingers and say, like, your guy is on me. What are you doing? Well, what I've done is I've gotten a really big lead. I could, like, yellow was the setup guy. I have a good spot to maybe kill gray. There's a lot going on. Oh, wait. Yellow is still here? Wow, this is interesting. So scouts are coming to my base. This is about to be really tough work for me. My TC is going to get denied. Yellow said FKJ. I don't know if I want to know what that is, but that's the only time yellow spoke. So yellow spoke in the afterlife. Got it. Well, I'm on 2 TCs right now. I've got fishing ships out there, and I can tell the other team is trying to retake water. I now know I've got to kill fast. So my plan is because gray is in a weak spot, try and attack gray constantly, and then basically win the 1v1 versus green. That's the goal. I think if I straight boom, if I sit back, we have some big problems here. Gray gets a couple quick walls in here. And gray clearly planning on building a castle, but that one knight's a little bit of a threat so far. I have to complete this TC. The scouts from green still lurking around. And they're really going to start sending it here. I mean, we have War Galley upgrade now from green, recognizing how big the fish boom is. So green will try and retake water. Gray as well, thinking about retaking water. Gray getting some quick walls down to try and, you know, keep all this, well, I say all this army, just the 2 units I have out, and I get through. So big moments for me. I actually was not able to look at this. I'm still looking at this. So it's funny, I just played this game, so I can remember what was happening, like what I was looking at. And I remember seeing right there, I remember seeing the gate was being held open and hoping it was still held open. Unfortunately, it is not. This is just some spearmen and some sheep, so that's not doing much. Gray is clearly very distracted. And green hasn't dropped the town centers yet. It seems like green wants to go for a castle, being the Mongols. Oh, man, massive demo there from green. And green's going to get another one. Oh, painful. Yeah, just so much to manage. So I'm trying to farm. around 3 TCs. I'm also trying to attack with army. And so one night is going to lead to a couple more nights here. So I'm doing my best. Like, Gray's really behind right now. But I felt like this wasn't enough. We had to completely take Gray out of the game somehow. So that villager, she's waltzed forward from the stable. Now, I, like, instinctively am always selecting all my idols and sending them to a task. And there are many instances where this villager starts to go home and it gets brought forward this game. So she really gets her cardio. And now I'm heading for those rams. Now, Gray to monk pushed me away. So I decide let's maybe try and hit green. And green seems to know that that's happening. Because green is immediately going to make some camels and is sending the camels pretty much to the right spot. I've had to make more ships to recover on water. Green's coming over on water ships. And, you know, at this point, the fishing ships, while they are helpful, they're not everything. Fishing ships, the way I describe it, they essentially give you the food to produce vills out of your TCs as you then add farms. So I didn't want to lose the water control, but there's 2 players committing to kill the water against me right now. I was never going to win that anyways. This is purely down to land at this point. So, time to test green's micro a little bit. And so, you could tell green clicked there. Or at least the units aggroed that group. And so I noticed this as well. And I'm happily just running away with those knights as green is distracted. Green was getting attacked here as well. So was probably worried about that. Got the quick walls down. But these knights have done some damage. Meanwhile, I've got rams coming up. There goes the villager home, like I said. Now she'll build a house, but I've got to get pressure back on Gray here. Neither one of them's really booming all that much. But Gray has a plan, guys. A plan, if executed perfectly, could be a very, very big problem for me. Gray, they have water control now, right? And Gray is going to transport across the seas to my eco. My knights have completely shredded green. Like, poor green really took a long time to find all the different spots here. And I was able to kill 11 or so villagers. Green's making a ton of army now. Green has enough for a castle. Green's making the second TC. And so here comes Gray. Now, I knew what this meant. And so I am like, what's funny is, like, I can't attack Gray on the shoreline. Here comes another transport because there's fires. My stables are kind of far away. And then I'm focused on this. So Gray's clearly looking at the vills. I'm like slaughtering Gray's base. Gray's about to lose everything. So Gray needs to get this castle up. And so I'm going to try and stop this with everything I can. It's also really hard to see. Like, Gray villagers walking around is kind of hard to notice. But I'm vill fighting this. Now, apologies, but I didn't have this on all game. I typically don't use it for team games because it's a pain. So you could see this here. I sold 500 wood, bought 200 stone. I know what this is. And I am thinking about a counter castle. But you know what's better than a counter castle? Waiting till they get it to like 98% and then denying it. So that was my thought. I was like, okay, if this actually gets risky with however many villagers are here, like if Gray gets the quick walls down or something, then I'll build my own castle. But I really don't want to build my castle here. I think I can deny it anyway. So basically what I'm saying is I'm a cocky son of a gun. And I'm full of myself. And I thought I'd be fine anyways. So I decided I wouldn't even need it. So Gray, meanwhile, Gray has big problems. And, yeah, I mean, Gray asked Green, like, do we have a chance? Green never really responded. Green never really said anything to Gray. Gray, if I was teamed with you, I would say something to you. I just want you to know that. And so, I got a little concerned, so I said, okay, we'll just build a tower and a TC here. This will be fine. Gray actually walled in my vill somehow. And so this castle, it's slowly going up with 2 vills, but the tower's on the way up. It's at 90%. And again, my thinking, I honestly was just not hugely concerned. And looking at it now, I probably should have been way more concerned. Okay, this is denied at 95%. For whatever reason, I thought it was like 80. And so Gray says, no. And I say doubt because it's a classic doubt castle. And so I told myself, I said, okay, self. They still have water control. Get ballistics at some point. And then I'm pretty sure I even build another tower. I figured like however many vills he sends in, they'll just all die to my towers. I got other things to do. I'm forward town centering. I'm still like ram rushing. I just noticed that the Gray's got a TC here, so I'm trying to take this out. I'm still booming like I've been booming like an absolute madman. And Green now brings all this army over. And so Green is here to defend, which I don't know. I wasn't expecting. I was kind of thinking that Green would maybe attack me where I was walled. So I have to get some quick walls down because I thought the forward golds would be really important. And I start to bring more villagers so we could build up over here on this side. And again, I thought Green was going to push this area. It's very awkward to move around this map with all the water. And so I was going to go Pike Ram. I figured Pike Ram, we hit Green right now, like Green's not prepared for this. And things should be good. And I'm on the way to Imp. 130 vills. Like, I have more eco than my opponents do combined. Gray is pretty much out of the game. Things should be pretty good for me here. Or so I thought. But, again, I was cocky, and I thought that that castle would never go up because I just stupid. And I totally deserve what's about to happen here. Like, and honestly, and I wasn't doing it for this reason. I would tell you if I did. For the content, this is actually the best play. So maybe, like, deep down inside, my subconscious knew that the content would be better if I did this. Now, Green's coming over to castle drop me, not expecting me to have a base here. So I've got Pikes and Knights. We're, like, really disrupting Green. Green's probably like, crap, are you kidding me? He's going to complete this TC. And then I look at this, and I see this, and I'm, like, clicking my towers onto the vills and everything, but I don't have ballistics. I don't have fletching. And 3 villagers from Gray show up. 3. And the final 2 do the job. And this is just horrible. Let's go down the list of reasons why this is horrible, okay? Reason number 1, I have 3 town centers around this. Reason number 2, I have 32 farms around this. Reason number 3, I already suck at placing farms. Reason number 4, this individual is Portuguese. They can make organ guns, which is a really good unit. And reason number 5, because people on YouTube are going to leave comments saying, that was a silly move, T90. Like, So, I'm still, like, engaging in a massive battle over here. I'm going Pikes and Rams, hoping to take this castle out. So, you know, there's still this to worry about. And then I'm also, like, trying to keep an eye on everything over here. I don't know why I have random vills around, but I do. And so this is just a lot. This is just very overwhelming. And I keep looking at my pop, and I keep, like, waiting for my resources to rise, but my eco is so inefficient, it's not rising like I would want. And I've got to build some extra towers in case the organ guns move around. I've got villagers all over creation right now. And guys, they're holding. Green is Mongols. Mongols are terrifying in Imp. And Green is on the way to Imp. I just sunk a crap ton of resources into the Pike Ram push. And I can't exactly keep track of all this either, so I'm going to lose a bunch more. Like, Green's got a big army. Gray, and this is very smart from you. I can tell you're using all your 10 fingers for this. Gray just says, I'll move through the towers. Because the longer I sit here, the better it is for T90. He can plan. And so these towers, which now have ballistics and fletching, they're doing a little bit. But, like, I've got nothing over here, guys. I've got no army. And look at my food. I've got 0 food in the bank. So, props to Gray. I'm a big fan of Gray, if you can't tell. And Gray says, and I thought Yellow liked towers. So, Gray just talking some smack here, having some fun. These organ guns have killed 15 villagers already. And I knew that Gray was a bit of a legend, and I appreciated it. And so I laughed, but I'm also like, I think I'm going to lose this game. I think I just threw the game. Look at my worker efficiency. It's awful. Now, I will take the castle out. I still need an answer for these organs that have killed 20 vills. And all of this investment, all of these buildings that I had here, that I had a plan for going down. But I can't let Gray get away with killing my vills. So naturally, I've got to drop a castle here on Gray's TC. And I'm starting to bring vills over. Like, now that yellow's gone, I can actually take these resources. Now, I kept trying to send army this way, but I also had the thought that I didn't want green or gray going this way. So I walled this, but I didn't add a gate. So I've got units. It's kind of hard to tell, but I realized at some point, I'm trying to send things this way, down here, but they cannot path that way. They would have to path this way. So, you know, my thinking is stabilize the eco. Where are the organ guns? Are they dead yet? I didn't even show that. I really should have showed that. I mean, what a wasteland of an economy I have now. Oh, they're here. Okay. So, like, these final 4 have 22 kills, and we'll get a few more. Gray really got some crazy value. So at this point, like, I've got to refocus. I'm waiting for my res to rise again. And thankfully, I have an idea of kind of what green's up to, and my buildings are buying me time. But what I didn't want is I didn't want a situation where I couldn't threaten green anymore. Because when you're, like, as the higher ranked player here, basically this whole game, I've been wanting to force a reaction in one area and then hit the next, right? And so that's still my thinking. I still wanted to maintain some semblance of water control. I actually made these demos so I could hit Mangadai. But I'm sneaking these buildings here. And green doesn't see that. But green is sending a whole bunch of vills. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think they might be to build the castle, but there is also some gold there that green's going to take. Meanwhile, I've made an elephant to attack good old 10-Finger Tom. 10-Finger Tom is, notice, not resigned, unlike best teammate ever. 10-Finger Tom has continued to play on, even though there's not immediate help. And Gray, I think, is laughing at the elephants. Or no, there was... Hold on a second. I think there was a transport ship. Yes. Okay, so Gray had this, and I think Gray's laughter was associated with me chasing this transport ship with a demo and trying to kill it. And it didn't work. Yeah. So I don't know. There's lots of reasons to laugh right now. But honestly, maybe not. Like, some people would be really salty. Some people would have resigned. 10-Finger Tom just keeps kicking. Because 10-Finger Tom is the legend of this game. Here's my random leftover army. I notice I need a gate. So I'm doing that. And green, I think, makes a very common mistake that a lot of mid-ranked players do. So green wants to push, right? But green knew there was a castle there and is dropping a castle underneath the castle of someone that's in it. Like, this is giving me a heads up of what's coming and putting me in the advantage to go for the Trebor. Now, it also depends how green sees it, because what might happen is green might think I have to kill T90 fast here because Gray is dead. So I can understand the thinking of trying to be really aggressive. But in actuality, I think if you've got 2 players in the game, that needs to be a defensive castle, and you got to mass up army. Like a madman. You've got to mass with big army. But again, there's a lot happening. Now, poor 10-Finger Tom is losing most of what is left in the base now. And I thought I was about to defeat 10-Finger Tom. And to stop green from running through, I start to drop some stone walls. Gray is also walling up, though. And Gray actually has some eco over here. So again, like, they've got 2 people in this. They could potentially do very well here. My eco is finally, like, starting to fire because my villagers are actually working, and I am funded by all that tasty gold that yellow left me. And so now I've got Savar on the way, and I knew the army I have here could still do a bit of a job. The biggest thing for me right now is I need to take out green's castle. And green, by the way, saw my sneak buildings. Is taking out my sneak buildings, so that's where a lot of the army is. Green is also... Green and gray, actually, both have navy. In the middle, so... It's just, they just do not have a lot of land control right now. So green's got Bracer for the Mangadai. Green has Bloodlines for the Mangadai. Mangadai need a lot of upgrades. You need to get Elite. You need to get Parthian tactics. You need to get Thumb Ring. And then obviously the big thing is you need the castles as well. And so my fire ships won't stick around for too much longer. But I've still got, again, remnants of an army. I just patrolled these, and I'm just expecting them to mow through everything on the way. I've also clicked the elephant through. And here I come with the Savar, and green drops the G, realizing I will clear it up. And 10-Finger Tom gives me a compliment. And the game ends here. At the very end, it was 220 pop versus 201. 22 of that pop was actually yellow. Ooh, that's satisfying. It was perfectly pop capped, but yeah, in the end, I mean, maybe some people would have loved a little bit more fight from them. I didn't have the biggest army over here, but I did have a very strong army. The Savar would have cleared the Megadai and the Trebs. Ultimately, there still is an eventual push coming from this side. And they actually, if this goes super late, like let's say this game's closer, it gets interesting here because I am only of so much pop, but they can't trade using corners too, right? But yeah, most likely odds are I steamroll here, push through green, and then whatever gray has left is probably going to go down as well. So, I ended up getting the job done, even though best teammate ever decided to quit on me there. And listen, I get it. Like, yellow doesn't know who I am, okay? Yellow's a lower ranked or mid-ranked player. Just thinks it's some random. They're probably like, what's so official about this guy? He sucks. He didn't help me, right? And it was really bad for Yellow. Yellow probably was just straight up not having a good time. And so Yellow decided to leave. Also, at the same time, though, like, I guess communication's kind of the biggest thing. And Yellow and I couldn't really communicate with each other because of the language barrier. But, like, the reason green, how do I describe this? Okay, the fact that green sent all that army over to Yellow's side meant that green wasn't hitting me and that I was actually ahead. It's no fun to play that role of the person who's getting beat up in a team game. But that happens in team games sometimes. And sometimes you have to realize, yeah, sure, your situation's worse than you would want, but maybe there's a reason for that. And sometimes you just got to play the role of staying alive. Not going to judge Yellow too much. Like I said, a lower ranked player. I just kind of mentioned that from like, for a learning moment for some of you guys, right? Because I know you guys probably experienced that. So this got me thinking. And, I used to do some 1v3s and some 1v4s and stuff like that in the past. I'm thinking maybe I'll actually start a game where maybe I'll start to do some challenges like that where it's not in ranked where a teammate quits on me and we can have some fun times. Either way, have some cool things to spice up the content. Been very busy with Titans League for those that watch the competitive scene, but I really wanted to work up some good individual videos. So, sure, my teammate rage quit. But guess what? They got ELO anyways. That's the crazy thing about this. If you resign or you disconnect, let's say, because of your internet, okay? If your team wins, you still receive the ELO. Didn't used to work like that back in the day. I guess due to servers and whatnot, it does work like that today. So happy birthday, Yellow. You didn't work for it, but I got you the win anyways, buddy. And again, I do actually feel a little bit bad. I should have said something to indicate there were going to be scouts. I could have at least signaled to give Yellow a heads up. Would Yellow have rage quit anyways? I think the chances are very high, but I'm only judging best teammate ever based on this experience. I don't know. Maybe Yellow is truly the best teammate ever and just had a bad day at work or something. There's the KD. There's the eco. Well played to green and to gray. Thank you guys for being good sports and all this. Especially great. You made it really fun. That castle was painful. The organ guns were painful. You made this game fun to watch. I think there will be a lot of comments saying they really appreciated Gray. That's it for me, guys. Like the video if you enjoyed the special content. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you around. Have a good one.